What's up, everybody? Welcome to JQ Cars. My name is Jimmy, and this is my car channel. Before we dive into cars, if you like gaming, hiking, or football, you can find me in all of these places for the other content I make. A lot of Call of Duty and Warzone, Apex, and just random games for gaming. Just general hiking, Bills fan, football. Like I said, you can find me in all of these places right here. But this channel is about cars, so that is what we're going to be talking about. Behind me is my daily driver and currently my only car, my Scat Pack, my 18 Scat Pack Destroyer Gray. I love this car. It's the first car that I bought on my own. It's only my second car ever, but we'll talk about me, my history, my interest of cars today. And then in the coming days, I should be getting one of my very short list dream cars, at least reasonably affordable dream cars. So that's exciting. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to see that right away. If this type of content interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe. And please hit that like and comment down below what you think of me or my car, whatever we talk about today. All the interactions greatly help the channel, and I really do appreciate that. So starting off, like I said, my name's Jimmy, originally from Maryland. Grew up in Maryland, drove this car all the way out to Arizona, lived in Arizona a couple years. Now I'm in Western North Carolina. I didn't really get into cars until towards the end of high school, beginning of college. I grew up, my dad had a Fox body. He had an automatic 1988 hatch Fox body. Didn't have a notch. I don't like the notches. So I liked that car a lot. I always liked riding in it, but he wasn't a car person per se, although his first car when he got a job was an 85 manual Fox body, and then his sister was selling her 88 automatic, so he switched to that. But that was the extent of cars in my life. So I didn't grow up watching like Top Gear or working on cars or going to car meets or anything with anyone in family. So I always kind of liked cars, but it was from a distance, and then it took my friend Ty, who I remember, here's a picture of his car. He discovered a Mini Caboose Mustang. I just got this beautiful Volvo. And my best friend, Andy, who he has too many cars to list. They really got me deep into cars, and so now I'm obsessed with cars, and I have been for going on about a decade now. I'd say about a decade. So when I was getting my first car, I had always kind of wanted something. Like I really wanted to get a New Edge, but my parents were buying me a car, so I didn't get it. So what I ended up with was a 2008 Ford Focus SE with whatever package, I forget what it's called. And I just drove that around for a couple years, and it was whatever. But then, my love of cars took over, and I started to modify that car. I'll put a picture here, maybe. But here's what my car looked like. We lowered it on springs. I blacked out everything with Plasti Dip that I could. The grill, the wheels, the mirrors, the fog light housing. I got a shark fin antenna, Plasti Dipped that. I got a ducktail for the back, Plasti Dipped that. Typical like ricer car stuff. We can say ricer nowadays. I'm half Asian, I can say it. Yellow fog lights, full catback exhaust, cold air intake. That was a true cold air intake, like it went down into the fender. I loved that thing. It actually sounded better than you would think it would. Insert clip here. But unfortunately, an older woman passed out behind the wheel, had a medical emergency. I hope she's still okay to this day. But she had a medical emergency, wrecked this, and it ended like this. So I was actually talking to Kuhn's dealership up in the DMV area already about this Charger, and this was just going to be my second car. I was going to keep the Focus for a while, daily the Focus, and buy this car. Obviously, I don't still have the Focus. So that's how I arrived to this car, and this being my only car. It was the first car I bought at college. Luckily, I got a decent paying job, lived at home. I was able to afford a Scat Pack. So that leads us to the Scat Pack. Scat Pack, it's just on springs. That's the only modification. And then I tinted the fog lights yellow. I have tint and then gutters, and I always forget what you call. It's a wind splitter essentially for the rear. And that's all it's done to this car. I have a cold air intake that I'm too lazy to put on, and a grill swap that I don't feel like taking the bumper off to do. So those parts just sit. But that's all I have on this Charger. The fitment is purely just like, I think it's H&R springs, and it's a perfect drop. what I want to do for this car eventually is headers and exhaust. I just don't feel like spending $4,000 on the setup I want, but that'll come eventually. But this is just my daily. It's been a great daily. It's driven me all the way from Southern Maryland to moving out into Arizona, and then moving from Arizona back to Southern Maryland, and moving from Southern Maryland to West North Carolina. I've taken it to Cruise Week in Ocean City. I've driven it to Virginia Beach to visit family multiple times. And because I work from home and because of the pandemic, it only has 60,000 miles since 2018. So as far as issues with it, the only issue I've actually had is my AC needs charging for the second time now. I don't know if I don't know where I got a leak on that. And then the active exhaust actuators squeak. But other than that, it's been a great car. If you're into V8s, you're into old school style muscle cars, this is definitely a great car. So that's my car history. As far as where I am into cars, I like everything pretty much. I even like just random dailies. I had to call my friend Andy, who I mentioned, because I saw Subaru Solterra. That's not a special car at all. In fact, from everything that the reviewers and the media have said, it is a piece of shit car. But nobody buys them, so seeing one was cool. So I like seeing stuff that people don't buy because that's rare. I like seeing cars that are cool and rare, like a car that I'm hopefully, if everything works out, either getting tomorrow or early next week. And so that's kind of where I sit with cars. My favorite era is 80s, 90s. I like the boxy cars. I don't think you need 1,000 horsepower. You know, the Charger Scat Pack is enough. Hellcat would be cool, but like I have enough horsepower in a Scat Pack. So as far as what cars I like weird cars. I like rare cars. I like normal cars that people don't buy. I have an appreciation for all builds. I'm not a stance person, but I appreciate the effort that goes into stance. And even cars that were like my Focus, where it's not an enthusiast car, but someone clearly loves it and puts modifications into it. I have an appreciation for that. I'm just an all-around car person. I love cars. I'm not necessarily the most mechanically inclined, although I could be, I guess, if I really tried. I'm more of a car nerd. I like to know things about cars. I like to know what random cars are. So that's kind of where I am and where I like cars. And then as far as what this channel is going to be, this channel won't be as consistently posted on as like my gaming channel or my hiking TikTok or any of that, just because less often there's car stuff to do. But I'd like to, talk about like my cars or the car that I'm hoping to buy. And if I don't buy that car on Saturday, which I'm going to keep secret because that'll be its own video, there will be something coming in the near future. I think something enthusiasty. I was going to get a daily. I wanted to get like a Subaru Outback Wilderness so I could go to trails since I like to hike. But the car that I have is much cooler, much rarer. Won awards, not for the production car to the public, but it's a homologation special is your only hint. And it won a bunch of awards or bunch of trophies. And it'll be able to get me to trails. So I'm and if that doesn't go through, I don't know, maybe I'll get some. I'll try to look out for like a Zuzu Via Cross. Like I said, I like weird rare vehicles. So I want to talk about like my cars. I think I want to do stuff like diving into the history of like the Hemi or the Charger itself, or I've always liked Group B. Obviously, I've not been old enough to watch Group B, but maybe I'll do a deep dive into Group B. So it'll be a deep dive into car stuff I'm interested in. Anytime I like work on my cars or maybe like vlogs going to Cars and Coffee, it's going to be a random bunch of car stuff and me talking about cars and maybe doing car things. I want to go to the Dragon. I'm not that far from the Tail of the Dragon. So it'll just be generic car vlogs or maybe car histories or things I'm doing with my car, stuff like that. That's kind of the channel. So, that's who I am. That's what I like. That's my car history, the cars I like, and my plans for the channel. So this is a little intro video to intro the channel. Like I said, I'm hoping I need to call Saturday. The owner of the dealer has been out of the country. He comes back tomorrow. I'm hoping he says tomorrow I can pick it up, which means by early next week I should have a video about what I picked up. If not, the trip to go pick it up. I want to do that as well. So if you like car content, you like somebody who likes to yap a lot, that I'm your somebody. So hopefully you decide to hit that subscribe button, and if I'm lucky, the notification button, because I think I'm going to have a lot of cool car content coming, especially if I can get the car that I want, because we're going to do a lot with that car, because it's something that doesn't have a lot of content on YouTube. Trust me, I've looked a lot. It does not have a lot of content anywhere. So it'd be cool to be able to make content on that. And I don't want to give it away, so we're not going to say what it is. But yeah, that's it. That's me. That's the cars. That's the channel plan. That's what I like. But thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see my content first. And comment down below what car you drive, what cars you're into. If you'd like to see me do anything on the channel, maybe do anything with the Scat Pack, let me know. But thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.